No thoughts, no emotions. Just wanna quit tennis right now, but we'll see. We'll see in a few days. Hopefully I'll get back on track.
Has got everybody and their auntie in this kit. But for good reason. Listen, I was not familiar with your game, Nike. This is why I think being a hater works, because for so long we've been complaining about how ugly Nike's kits are, and they finally decided to lock in. Now don't even get me started on Miss Naomi. She deserves her own video for this beautiful look. But all this to say, I can give credit where credit is due. Nike, great job. Do it again.
Imagine becoming the best tennis player on earth. Collecting trophies like their supermarket loyalty points and then discovering a pink outfit worn by someone ranked below you is causing a bigger shopping frenzy than your own brand deal. That is exactly the bizarre situation that has tennis fans grabbing popcorn. Somewhere between sold-out merchandise, confused sponsors, and a very frustrated Aryna Sabalenka, a simple pink kit turned into one of the strangest power struggles tennis has seen in years.
The thing I like about Alex Eala is the growth there, because I think sometimes people think she was born in Miami. You know what I mean? Like she just showed up in Miami and then that was it. No, I remember watching Alex Eala last year at the US Open where she didn't make it through qualifying and it was super devastating. She's been at this for a while and each year she becomes better and better.
4 years. Professional tennis operated under a simple assumption that seemed almost impossible to challenge. Win the biggest trophies, reach the top of the rankings, and the commercial world would naturally arrange itself around.
Kind of pitbull, like Sibylkova was a little bit like that to me as well.
Obviously, one of the storylines last week was Alex Eala and the massive crowds that she was bringing to Dubai. I think it was perhaps maybe more notable there because that's not a tournament that is typically packed. The Filipino fans had come to watch their player. And I'm wondering if you can tell us, in terms of her actual tennis, what is it that she does so well?
Well, there's a lot of things that she does really well. And I think there's a lot of things that make her opponents feel.
Success on the court was supposed to unlock everything else. Sponsors would build campaigns around your image, brands would create products in your honor, and companies would compete for the chance to associate themselves with the best player in the world.
I want to go watch Alex Eala play. Like, oh my gosh, I want to watch. My mom's Filipino, so she's crazy about Alex.
Did you say that she wanted to make her a Filipino dish and then like meet her mom or something too?
Yeah,
Alex's mom.
Yeah. My mom went to US Open last year and she was just, Alex was obviously huge then. And she was like, oh my gosh, I want to see Alex. Maybe I'll get a picture with her, but I also want a picture with Jenny. I want a picture with everyone. And I was like, okay, mom, let's take it
one at a time. Then a strange situation unfolded inside Nike's tennis division. And suddenly, that old assumption no longer looked quite as reliable. Aryna Sabalenka entered 2026 as the most dominant force in women's tennis.
You try and describe this run she had in Miami, you have to look back at her past record. She never made it past qualifying at a Grand Slam. Not once. She hadn't won back-to-back matches. She hadn't won back-to-back matches at the ITF level, because that's where she was. So you get all of that, and then to come into Miami, she beat Katie Volinets.
She owned multiple Grand Slam trophies, occupied the #1 ranking, and carried the kind of intimidating presence that could make opponents look defeated before the warm-up even ended. On paper, she represented exactly the type of athlete every global sports company dreams about. Yet, while Sabalenka was publicly expressing frustration with her apparel situation, a young player from the Philippines was quietly becoming one of Nike's most fascinating success stories. The contrast between those two realities eventually created one of the most intriguing business stories in modern tennis. The irony was impossible to ignore. Late in 2025, Sabalenka appeared on camera discussing her relationship with Nike and openly hinted that she wanted the company to do more for her. Her comments were not particularly aggressive, but they carried the unmistakable tone of someone who felt overlooked despite standing at the top of the sport. She was not asking for anything outrageous. At nearly the same moment, thousands of miles away, in Oregon, Nike was giving another athlete an experience that looked remarkably different. Alex Eala, still only 20 years old and ranked well below Sabalenka, received an invitation to Nike's headquarters in Beaverton. During her visit, she worked directly with designers on a special collection inspired by the sampaguita, the national flower of the Philippines. The project was deeply personal, culturally specific, and unmistakably customized. Nike was not simply providing Eala with tournament outfits, the company was helping tell her story.
Speak a little bit about your friendship with Alexandra Eala and how important is it to have good friends on tour given the busy schedule?
I mean, Alex is a really nice girl. I've known her for a really, really long time, but I feel like we kind of started getting more closer once we were both on the tour. I think it's really important sometimes to find a little joy in we're all on the road for so long, and these are the years where we're kind of finishing high school or going into university, and usually like at this age I feel like
At the time, many observers treated the announcement as a pleasant marketing initiative. It seemed like a feel-good partnership celebrating a rising star and her heritage. What few people realized was that Nike's decision revealed far more about the company's future priorities than it did about its current roster. Because brands rarely invest significant resources without a reason. Every design meeting, every photo shoot, every product launch, and every limited edition collection reflects a calculation. Companies place bets. Nike had placed one. As the months passed, the difference between those two relationships became increasingly visible. Sabalenka continued winning matches and collecting ranking points. The expectation surrounding a world number one's tournament wardrobe is fairly straightforward. Fans assume the outfit has been designed specifically for that player and that the athlete will unveil it first on one of tennis's biggest stages. Instead, something unexpected happened. Another player appeared wearing exactly the same outfit before many fans had even seen Sabalenka compete in it. The images spread rapidly across social media, tennis fans immediately noticed the duplication, and confusion followed. If the world number one was supposedly debuting a signature look, why was another athlete already wearing it? The reaction was not really about the dress itself, it was about symbolism.
She had a lot of opportunity. She had a lot of match points that Clara kept fighting, and there were moments where you thought, oh no, is she going to lose this after not coming through all of these match points? Guess what? This was memories of the match she lost to Maya Joint at Eastbourne.
Yeah.
She had all those match points and then she lost the match. She learns from all these matches, and I think that's what's great about her.
People were looking at the situation and asking a larger question. How could the top-ranked player in the world still be sharing apparel designs like a standard roster member? That question became even louder when fans compared Sabalenka's situation with what was happening on the other side of the draw. Alex Eala arrived in Paris wearing a striking pink Nike outfit that quickly became a sensation among her supporters. Photographs circulated everywhere, fan accounts reposted the images, social media engagement exploded. The visual appeal certainly helped, but something deeper was happening beneath the surface. The pink outfit had become connected to a broader narrative. It represented Nike's investment in Eala. Fans rushed online, inventory vanished, and resale listings appeared shortly afterward. The speed of the sellout became a story all by itself. For Nike executives, those numbers likely mattered far more than any ranking list. Athletes are evaluated differently inside corporate boardrooms than they are inside locker rooms. Tennis rankings measure victories, businesses measure demand. Those measurements occasionally overlap, but they are not always identical. A player can dominate tournaments without becoming a commercial phenomenon. A player can also become a marketing powerhouse before reaching the very top of the rankings. That distinction sits at the center of this entire story.
Something about playing a left-hander that you get pulled out of the court a little bit differently. Her forehand is really good, but I think her backhand is better. Her backhand is a little bit more of an aggressive shot. The combination of her aggressive baseline shots with her backhand and then the ability to hit a heavier spin and make your opponents to kind of step back a little bit behind the baseline, being able to make the angle with her forehand and open up the court a lot of times to her opponent's backhand is something that a lot of players have a really hard time.
While Sabalenka was publicly hoping for greater recognition from her sponsor, Eala was generating the kind of consumer response that marketing departments dream about. The situation became even more fascinating when details regarding sponsorship structures began emerging. Industry reporting suggested that Sabalenka's agreement with Nike lacked several provisions commonly associated with elite superstar contracts. She reportedly did not possess exclusive control over apparel releases. She reportedly lacked certain merchandising protections. She reportedly did not enjoy the type of commercial arrangement that previous global icons had negotiated during earlier eras. Those details may sound technical, but they help explain why this story became so significant. That creates unusual situations where athletic status and commercial status drift apart. Sabalenka appeared to be experiencing exactly that phenomenon. The comparison with previous generations only intensified the discussion. Historically, some of tennis's biggest stars secured extraordinary levels of protection regarding apparel launches and product distribution. Their outfits remained closely associated with their personal brands. Their debuts felt exclusive. Their sponsorship arrangements reflected their superstar status.
When she knew Alex was playing at Indian Wells, she's like, I'm going to make her pancit, which is a famous noodle dish in the Philippines, and then lumpia, which is like these egg rolls. And I told Alex about it, and she's like, oh my gosh, I would love that. And if I tell my mom that, my mom will probably make like 3 big like bowls of noodles. So I don't know if I should give it to Alex, but yeah, they just go balls to the wall with that stuff. So yeah, it's fun.
Sabalenka, despite being the best player in the world, seemed caught somewhere between ordinary endorsement structures and true signature athlete treatment. Meanwhile, Eala's partnership appeared to be moving in the opposite direction. Nike was increasingly positioning her as more than just another player on its roster. The company seemed to view her as a gateway to something larger. To understand why, it helps to look beyond tennis. The Philippines possesses one of the most passionate sporting populations on earth, the global Filipino diaspora. Espera stretches across continents. Representation matters enormously in markets that have historically seen limited visibility on major international sports platforms. When ELA appeared on Nike products, many fans saw more than apparel. They saw recognition. They saw a reflection of themselves. As a result, ELA's success represented something larger than a single clothing launch. It represented access to an audience with enormous enthusiasm and long-term growth potential. While all of this unfolded, Sabalenka faced a far more difficult reality on the court. At Roland Garros, she entered the tournament carrying the expectations that naturally accompany a defending champion and world number 1. For much of her quarter-final match, everything appeared manageable. Then, momentum shifted. The match slipped away. The collapse stunned spectators. Afterward, Sabalenka delivered one of the most emotional press conferences of her career. Her comments revealed a player carrying significant mental and emotional strain. The image was striking.
She has not been in the main draw of a Grand Slam, and she does this, and then gives Pegula a run for her money. Pegula was so frustrated during that match. You could almost see her thinking, wait, so this girl's gonna beat me right now? Like, what? I feel like that was Pegula's attitude the whole match.
One of the sport's most powerful competitors sat before reporters discussing how overwhelmed she felt. At nearly the same moment, Ella was becoming one of the tournament's most talked about stories. The timing amplified every comparison. Whether fair or unfair, people began connecting events that may not have been directly related. The public saw a frustrated world number 1 struggling with sponsorship concerns and competitive disappointment.